Look, hello, how are you? So, I'm trying to create new methods of communication because it's so complicated nowadays. Everybody that works with sales or marketing, ever that you have to talk and communicate, there's so many means of communication nowadays that's a mess. So I'm trying to invent something new. So this group is okay, and I believe it's Aline is there, Kathy is there, Polo is there, Cassandra is there. So maybe everybody gets the same message at the same time because that's some updates. Everybody's helping with what they can. Okay, so I'm very happy. And first of all, thank you very much for the help. Uh, and hopefully on Monday there are some economical compensations, right? So here is just a quick update of the main things that are going on here at this LEGroup, which is this. I don't say this is my office. This co-shared space. There's other guys there. Everybody do different stuff, and but I just do this once everybody leaves because I don't feel comfortable. Okay, because if I'll be talking, everybody will be listening. Okay, so I wrote here a list. So first, I'll try to be quick. Number one, happy Thanksgiving. In the USA, it's Thanksgiving today. Tomorrow is Black Friday. So happy Thanksgiving. Grazie, grazie a tutti. Grazie, grazie. In my case, I say thank you for my health. Okay, all the defendants, they do want me to get sick, to give up, get a new job, whatever. But I'm still here, knocking their doors. Hello, how are you? It's Augustine. You owe me money. You pay me. Okay, but so these are the news. Here, the news. The news. First, the funny cheese. Okay, for somebody who does not know, I have been selling American cheese for 6 years, 7 years. It's a company from Wisconsin and Texas and Florida. It's a group of companies, and they manufacture cheese, and I sell that. As everything I do, it was a 6 full year of work, 2012 until 2018. I still have these products on my website. I still get leads. I still have those, and that's like torture to me because I keep receiving all these inquiries and I cannot answer. Usually, what I do would be to answer and sell cheese. Okay, I've been doing that for 6 years. Unfortunately, year 2018 was the big result of 6 years of work. I have all these massive results, as it always happened in my career. Then it's a time of getting managing payments, finance, and then it all blows up because like random, which is something I was talking to Aline today in Rio de Janeiro. It's something about the level of business. A lot of people do not understand. It's like it's white collar level. There is like on economics. There's like the very low, which is $500, $50 that you know when you lend $50 somebody, then they'll pay you, and you like, because it's kind of a small money and it's not. And then you have all this middle class life, which would be from 500 to 50,000, which is very regulated. There's a lot of laws and it's very respected because the system, how it works, is very safe. Which means when you buy a car and you are not happy with the car, you take it back to the dealership and you get a new car, or then you have the over $100,000 word, and in my case, it's over $1 million. Uh, I was accent this way, like I come from an upper class, okay, in Argentina, so like I am familiar with handling bigger amounts of money since I was 16, because I have inheritance. My father had a laboratory, my mom had a distribution company, so like we have all this. So like I know as a child the reality of big money. When I say big money, it's not $100 billion. It's like 100,000, $70,000, $300,000. So I had that on personal first in things that you see my family, like cousins, cousins, brothers. Okay, so I know, unfortunately, I know as a young person, how this is. Okay, so, but I'm just explaining, not because I'm assuming you guys don't know, but maybe somebody does not. So you just explain, okay? So this is my life since 2014, especially when I had over $1 million of gross revenue on LEGroup USA. Since then, it's savagery because there are no laws, there's nothing specific. There's a lot of elements when you're talking of white collar crimes over $1 million. First of all is that the society in general does not want to help you because everybody who handles more than $1 million is seen as bad. So if you have $1 million, you're a bad person. So that means you need to relax. And so once you rob it, you lost. So that's my case. Okay, hello. Okay, that's my case. Like you're going like, no, I've been robbed. And then the police looks at you like, why? Who's this guy? He just came from an airplane. This guy just renting a car or like coming from Thailand, whatever. Now he wants me to really help him. So it goes, but if I'll be smaller and I said, look, my neighbor robbed my fridge, they show up in a minute, like with 5 pictures. Okay, but if you go there and say, I was just robbed $200,000, they're like, who are you? Come on, like it's a human thing. Okay, when you work with sales, you're always thinking about human nature and why humans are like this. You never know. Okay, so, but that's the case. And when you're talking, which is the main problem, this is more of a detail that when I explain why a victim does not even have the support when you're talking bigger amounts of money. Okay, the second thing is the problem itself. Why there's so much crime on any business that's over $1 million? If I put a figure, okay, over $100,000, it's already there, or you're already there. Okay, but let's say over $1 million, there's no law. And that's what you see all over the news that you see. But how come that company, and I keep mentioning Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg, okay, how come they manage to just twist all the laws and do things like, I'm here and I want to have a small radio station just around my corner that may have 1,000 listeners, and I need to go through this massive bureaucracy and licenses, and then somebody creates a business that's this broadcasts information to 7 billion people, and they just do it. And now, like, so that's because there is this over $1 million, just there's no law. Why? All the attorneys, they will work just to twist the laws, to just please, it's a business, they just pay and they twist everything. So, unfortunately, these are the results. Always fish. Okay, so let's talk cheese again. So cheese. Do not got any response from the defendants. It's like all quiet as always. Okay, and but I made some moves. So one is that I reestablished contact with somebody who was helping on the collection. He's based in Seattle and he's very good over the phone. So he was assisting me in Las Vegas 1 year ago. His name is Jesse, but he's going to be calling them again. It's what Edmund was trying to do, is what Cassandra tried to do. But I believe the cheese is a little bit more rough. So I believe somebody masculine from America in the USA will make the good job, as he did 1 year ago, which is basically just calling them and following up. It's a very cold call. Sometimes I believe Cassandra can't do this. I can't, because it's me. I'm the person. I'm the target. So it's not. But when somebody else calls them on my behalf, it has way more power. And the thing is, it's the problem that Cassandra has, that I think, is that hello Cassandra, I hope you're listening to this. I know you do a lot of things, but this is shared to you too, like, because you're more of a salesperson. That's why I put you VP of sales, and you try to sell something to them because you try to mingle, and then and in this particular case, it's just a one-way street. This is a litigation level. I say the cheese people, okay? Is litigation, because I had all of this. I was face to face, James Williams' office, and they were very rough against me. So I'm still terrified of everything they did, and they are bad people. What does that mean? Like, if you call them, they are going to defraud you. So they may have like the sweetest call in the talk in the world. They may do like, oh, it's really, I did not know what happened. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Send that back to me. As it seems Mike birthday to you and all that. So they or what happened to Edmund, that they just hang up on his face. So I believe he is Caesar or Jesse. He's more qualified to do this cold calls. We gotta say cold because it's a one-way street. He's going to call them and say, "Hello, how are you? This is Caesar. It's more of a collecting litigation call. It's not a conversation call. It's a one-way call. It means he's informing them and making questions. There's no negotiation. Is info. Look, do you guys know you're being this? You have this. I need to know your name." And that refers to anybody who takes the call. It can be the secretary. It can be like you acting on behalf of this company, and you need to answer these questions. And so that's what he's going to do next week. Okay, and that's one thing. The other thing is that I also contacted the police in Texas again today. It's Thanksgiving, but I left them a voicemail because they've been very quiet for 1 week now, and because they received the package with all the documentation, and because I need a new police report that's updated with the full story. That's what I said in a different video the other day. Is that they reopened the case, and there was a lot of conversations about 3 weeks ago with the police in Plano. And now, because these cases, they are getting mature now, it's been 1 year, and it's like, what has happened this 1 year? So the police has more information, so they make me questions about what was the responses, what the attorneys are saying about this, if the defendants, they answer back. So they're going to put in the puzzle together about, why I still have this company in my website, why the attorneys are not taking this case. Okay, so that's one thing. And another one was Florida. Florida, I made a petition to request legal aid. So I sent to them because these cases, as they're criminal, as I've been robbed. This means they will. I'm entitled to legal aid, and so once as a victim. So I can't go to Florida right now. So that's my weakness. Is because that's my big weakness is that I do business in different parts of the world. And so I have to travel to work. So I have to be now. I would need to go to Florida, Texas, Wisconsin, Ohio, and file the police reports in the Bangkok, Thailand, Brazil, Italy, Argentina. Libya, I have to go, but I don't go because Libya has sanctions. So I don't want to go there. Okay, but I can meet the customers in Europe. I can meet the customers in Dubai. I can meet the customers in Malta. I can meet the customers in the USA. Okay, but not going there. Okay, there's a customer who's there now, and okay, but so that's cheese. So it's police stuff and collection stuff, but no news from the defendant side. No deposit, nothing. San Martin, the rice that was in the Caribbean. Okay, the story is. I put it on the Latin American package because I tried as hard as possible to reestablish the business in Brazil, which the business in Brazil, it always happens with this in Brazil. Like when it reaches the $1 million, it just go wacko. So I was again, okay, in January, was extensive negotiations. I was December, January, trying as hard as possible to make it work in Brazil. I started this year with $2-3 million on sales of this particular product, and it was bizarre again, which it's just things from the market, okay, which is like, how come you have all these orders, you can't process them, and I have established business and you just can't process it. Okay, that's another discussion. Okay, but anyways, doing this, I'm trapped with this supplier. He shipped 6 containers. I gave him 200 containers order. He only shipped 6 containers, and even that was like 3-4 months later. And then At the end, it came the truth. Unfortunately, it's one more case. His name is Jorge Soares. He's in Portugal, and he works with this guy in Brazil called Paulo Pinto. Well, unfortunately, it's one more case. They overpowered me, and they took the decision to call my clients and do the same crime everybody's doing: slandering the information, cutting you off, telling the thing. It's like, oh my God, you build that whole thing. You hire people, you give them what to do. You just produce and ship whatever. Somebody who speaks roughly English, they grab the phone and they call your client to tell why Augustine is such a horrible person and why you should do business with them direct. So it's more and more crimes, more felonies, so there was more cases. Okay, one thing that I did, they were using an alibi, which is also very strange. Like when I was doing the entire operation, they sabotaged the shipping. So it's really bad. So they, instead of just shipping, they made it all wrong documentation, whatever. And then I send them payment. I sent over $80,000, which is like 350,000 Brazilian money. It's a lot of money in Brazil for them to ship those 6 containers. But I was going to send them like 2 million, 3 million. But they it's like the nature. They can't do normal business. They have to steal. So they manipulate, they create. But I've been victim of this before, and that's the things I'm trying to fix. And but the thing is that it's crazy stuff. So at some point, I said, as they were using this $20,000 that their banker sent back to me, it was just all orchestrated. It's more of a sophisticated scam what they did. It's like white collar again on this $1 million level. Okay, and so what I did, I just finished this alibi, and all the attorneys are copy. I'm not sure if some of you are copy too. So I just used this $20,000 worth of rice, and I did bartering. Bartering is a method of payment on finance. It's bartering. You pay with goods instead of. So I just traded. I sent all the original documents to Portugal, and the case in San Martin is closed. And I said, because at some point it's my health, because I need to really try to reduce, because I cannot handle everything. And I was like, I have this 2 million contract in Brazil being robbed, and I have this $30,000 worth of rice in, and not working with markets like the Caribbean and Brazil that are, if we believe America is rough, Brazil like Brazil is very rough, and the Caribbean is also very rough. Those countries are good to go to visit, a quick look, but it is very rough. They are rough because the connection between reality and practice, it's so bizarre. That's why they're rough. Because in the USA, for example, which is very rough too, the USA is because there's a lot of drugs in America, so there's drugs there, but you still have a connection with reality. So that means a gangster in America, if he wants to steal from you, he'll still understand that he cannot kill you because you're the source. So he needs to keep you working, and he will get some stealing. Like, but Brazil, Portugal, Caribbean, they don't get that logic. It's all, everything's very lost. So at some point I'm like, you know what? The San Martin case, okay, I try to even give that rice for free there, and I have been talking to thousands of people. There were some advertisings that they were seeing for like 60,000 people. They click, I think there were like 1,000 click or 3,000 clicks that they would see the GoFundMe, that campaign that everybody's seeing. They would give a no payment, like, which I believe also GoFundMe is not really a good source. But anyways, it's just very crazy, very complicated. It is a no-go zone, and San Martin is a no-go zone, unfortunately. No-go zone is how it's very maybe to sanctuary cities in the USA, or favelas in Brazil. It's a term that it's just neutral. It does not say it's worse or better. It's just a place that it's lawless. It's just everybody, anything is possible. So San Martin is one of those cases. So you lose the track. You try to do things. There's no logic. They're just random. So anyway, so that's what happened with San Martin, Portugal, and Brazil. Bad news, okay, but it is what it is. At the end, I think the best thing is just I got rid of some marks. I don't. It's all fully documented. It's like the only good thing to be honest, okay, is that my life is an open book, and that's why they don't come to mess me, because it's like, well, like, it's an open book. It's like, if you want to talk about this, it's like, do you want to talk for this for like 4 minutes or 4 hours? Okay, so third case, number 3. Okay, this is the list. 1, 2, 3. It's 3. It's late. Cassandra, she had good news. It seems that she made a good contact. Again, as I was saying, that Cassandra is a very good sales girl. I think she manages to get this good vibe and good feeling with the defendants. On this particular case of the slate, as there was activities conducted by the supplier in Brazil and by the sales rep in Wisconsin, there are chances that maybe Cassandra can turn this around, and that we just reestablish the slate business. I mean, the rice business, the cheese business, everything, they're all active, okay? It's just, all this thing we're talking about is more internal problems. So like, once these things get solved, they just are there. Like the cheese, I get the leads, I just need a new supplier, okay? I just don't have 1,000 hands to do everything, but I should be shipping from different suppliers. There's a supplier in Austria who's interested. I was talking to Schreiber Foods, to different supplier, to see that, how to manage this problem, okay? But still, one thing at a time, because I need the phones first. I got in a no situation because they don't pay me, I cannot pay there, so I got stuck, okay, and I can't move forward, okay? So this late, it seems that one of the defendants, they are going to really stay away of the case and pay their bill, which is about $9,000. It's not an impressive amount, but still, it's a solution. It's a resolution of a problem there, and that's being handled very carefully, because we're going to use that as for the other cases and everything. So it's going to go through there. They pay this. One of the Brazilian attorneys, it seems that he resigned today, because he sent a no-read notification to me. So that seems to me that he's resigning. Unfortunately, that was Fabricio. But the thing is about Fabricio is that all he did is, like, for 6 months was just asking me for payments. He didn't really move one penny. Like, he didn't really do anything, but his copy there, I don't really know. But I have other 2 attorneys in Brazil that we are interviewing, and some things that it's very important nowadays, the legal matters, to be work as much as possible on self-representation, because there is a big lack of qualified attorneys, unfortunately, and basically because they are acting as brokers. They're not just going as right and wrong, because what they have to do is to assist. Usually an attorney is assisting me and the other party in this case. So there is a dispute, there's a victim, there is a defendant, there's a plaintiff, and then the defendant. So then the attorneys, they're going to do their work just to bring the law and put both together on court, and then a judge, based on the facts, he will come to a decision. But the attorneys, unfortunately, are not doing that, okay? But that's the entire economy is like going on like that. So they will be just trying to do themselves some sort of side agreement, because they make more money that way, instead of sending that straight to court. But on this game, the problem is that it's so unrealistic, because I have a problem, a victim. I need to receive my payment as soon as possible. I cannot be for 3 years paying an attorney for him. Like 3 years, it's gone. So there's a time thing, and also it does not make any sense. I'm just telling you I've been robbed, and how come you want me to pay if I just told you that the money is not me? So usually what the attorneys go, they go to the defendant and they say, oh, so you have the money, so this is the case I have. So But anyway, that is being reported to the police because then the police needs to know all of this because that way they will explain, you know, like why they have to be involved, why the police has to take action, why they have to be prosecuted on a public level. The state has to prosecute the defendants because I'm a victim. It's supposedly safety, and this is all it's an obligation of the state. If somebody does not know, security, police, you may hire private security if you want. Like Donald Trump, he has his own private security. He does not trust the CIA. So he's afraid that the CIA maybe can kill him. So he has the CIA and he does have his private security too. So that he has I too. But it was his decision. There is, when we go out on the street or something, we don't have private security, but you have the public security. So the security is an obligation of the state. Usually all over the world, security is something that just does not work as a private. So that's the case. So when you are robbed, it's an obligation of the state and the jurisdictions I work: America, Thailand, Portugal, Brazil, Italy, Argentina, Ireland. Works like that. So you need to ask them to do their due diligence, which is supply you with this service. It's an obligation of the state. Okay, so that's why I keep talking to the police again, and that's why on these negotiations with the defendants we mention this to them, so they have conscience. Okay, that they're doing that they can be arrested. Okay, all of them, that they can. I mean, I wouldn't go to sleep fine if I know I have like a $100,000 of somebody who's reporting me to the police for theft. I wouldn't, I wouldn't go to sleep peaceful with that. But anyway, so okay, that's the news. Thailand. There was a lot of negotiations this week in Asia with Vietnam, Malaysia, different suppliers, always the same product: rice, tuna, juices in cans, and the thing is that, unfortunately, because I'm pushing very hard with the payment issues with Thailand, they're very professional, they're very effective, but they do need to understand they have to pay, for all my work and the sales and the thing, but they're always trying to escape and trying to do a copy it's the globalization thing now. Everybody wants to be cheap, but anyways, and the sad thing is that after extensive negotiations this week, I'm talking about new contracts, is no money, no talk. Okay, so if no money, no talk. I come from the 90s. It was not like that in the 90s, but that's the market as it is nowadays. No money, no talk. You need to pay. It's all about pay. All you talk is, I spend 90%, almost like the entire we talk about payments and almost no time talking about work and sales. But it's the market, okay? And as something that for the lawsuits there to move on, I have to go back to file the police reports and to close the cases. And on my way there, I may stop at the Thai embassy in London because I'm talking to the Thai trade commerce, because this is like politics, because it's like if Americans and Argentinians too and Europeans, we have access to Thailand, if I can go there on a business trip and all my documentation says business trip, I have an office, I have a lot of work that was conducted on my business travels in Bangkok. So I was there for an entire month working, like I didn't even go to the beach, just office work, visiting manufacturers. I generate a massive result of $20 million, and then Thai citizens, they treat me like shit once they just had to pay my commissions and say thank you after all my investments. So like, I need to know from the Thai embassy in London, like, why we're allowed to go there. It should just say no business allowed. And that's also part of things that needs to be conducted in Europe. I mean, it's no right. How come European? Because I go there understanding there is some sort of interest or respect to me, and I go and I create all these results, and then I'm treated like shit. And in Robbie, like I said, you're talking $20 million on my first year, 2 years of Thailand. I mean, now I should be talking $100 million there, and I'm just treated like shit, and like. There's the American embassy. There's a big structure there. I signed and I have documents notarized, contracts, a massive amount of documents, and you're like, so that's part of it. But we're waiting again for the payment. They know no situation. They no pay. I don't go. I like no money, no talk, and I have to go. And through distance, I can't because I contacted the Bangkok police, the tourist police. It's like I have to go there in person at the airport. Even at the airport, I don't even need to go to Bangkok, to the city. I can even do it at the airport. They have a police station there to start the procedures and the paperwork and blah blah blah, then translate into English and go to the American embassy, notarize and things to see if these defendants they pay, and that's the thing. What else? Italy, I am doing negotiations with Italy now, but it's always the same problem. You negotiate, everything's going fine. You have to pay. It's like you have to pay. What do you mean? Like and it's rough. I have a supplier there. I have suppliers there for pasta, for oil. I have supplier for tomato paste. I have supplier for slate in Italy. But their negotiations like you have to pay, and then people freak out. It's like, why do I have to pay? Like, and then it's what's like. In Italy, they go different. They go more. They just you say okay, so you have to pay. And say okay, good night, and they stop the call. And you're like, no, you have to pay. And you're like, you have to pay. Like, but it's the market's rough. But there is good possibilities there. I am explaining to them. It's a lot of consultancy on my side and education because I have to explain. You have to pay. The market has changed a lot. You have to pay. It's not going to work. We're trying to bring civilization back. That's what I'm saying. The Western civilization is dead as it is now. You still have the billboards, you go to Las Vegas, you go to Milano, you still see the construction, still see, but there's nothing going on. It is already a dead civilization. If anybody who studies sociology or anthropology, history, you can clearly see that the Western civilization is already dead because there is like a break point. Usually, when civilizations they disappear, there's like a break point, and this break point has already passed. So we're already on the last years, and then but there's still a big demand. So there is still bigger demand. There is still like desires that maybe what we're going to end up doing, which is what I'm already familiar with this because South Africa, Argentina, and South Brazil, we have already gone through this. And usually, once the Western civilization dies, it happens naturally, which means certain sections they still continue, but on a separate level. So it's like we're going to continue the Western civilization values and the method of work that you pay, that you invite for dinner, for example, that we have breakfast, lunch, and dinner, that we have this thank you, please, that we try to work only 40 hours a week. But we will still manage to get that, but on a segregated level as a minority. So that's the idea that between that's I believe Cassandra is going to do a good job this explaining the concept to Americans, because Americans are still not very familiar with the being a minority. So now it's like as a minority you still to try to look, it's just a separate. It's like South Africa is like a Brazil. It's like it's the Western civilization is not mainstream anymore. Not even in Italy. Imagine all over the world. So if you want to be Italian in Italy, you need to manage to do it on a segregated level, on a separate level, because you just can't be open anymore because it's changed. Okay, the Western civilization is dead, and so that's more what I'm saying on the marketing. We're going to try to get that done. What does that mean? We're going to do the price. Okay, let's go by price. Okay, so The slate's going to cost $130 a slab, not $95. Why 35? Because this is Western to West, is Italian slate, so to Italians, Americans there, and we understand that the $30 are for a dinner. It's three dinners a year. It's for Cassandra to go and take a plane and go there see them. It's for us to do a small trade show, and there's the representative and explain and the social photographs of the factory. Very confidential, very discreet on Western to West, something like that. That we just keep our civilization okay, because it's just been exposed. If everybody understands, if we try to do globalization, uh, the Western values, they are just understood nowadays as a billboard. That's why we have so much problems getting paid, because usually the whole world just see us. They just see us as a billboard. So you're just a photograph. Is it? That's it. So they do not understand that there is a real life behind that. That we also eat. That we also buy. That we also shop. Because that civilization was extinct. But a lot of people like me, we still live as if we were mainstream, But that's not anymore. That does not exist anymore. I just came from Italy. It's dead. Italy is dead. It's already dead. So you go, you see, it's death. So there's small towns in Italy that's like it's 8 p.m. and you're like there's just like it's like a post-war thing. Like there's nobody outside. But then you still see sections of it that are alive. So if you take a train a certain time, you see all the students going to school or stuff. But you see there's like leftovers of a civilization that's already dead. Okay, so then go back talking about death. Let's go back about social media. Okay, social media. Uh, that's the thing. I'm saying death because it's like you send them the documentation, send the invoice, so all you get is like funny print screens that I have to do about a very random, very weird communication because I know there are humans on the other side, but it's all this it's very random, but anyways, the paperwork is there. It's filed. It's a lot of paperwork because I need to file the paperwork in Brazil, in different jurisdictions. Like about my problems with them. And now I say problems because I'm trying as hard as possible to come to a friendly agreement. But they just don't answer. They just go random but. I'm following more what came from the American Senate, and so obviously everything I do with reference to social media as is something public. It's not a personal. I'm a victim of a public problem, and so I just send it to the American senators, whatever. But not that I really take this as a reality. It's something that I'm on the public. Whatever decision is going to take to refund or compensate everybody who is a victim of all the problems that social media has caused. I'm already there. My case is there. It's already filed with different senators and with the defendants as well. I call them defendants or clients. I don't know, but they have my paperwork too, so whatever. But the responses are very random, very random. They suspended my previous account. They now they're blocking me on posting on groups, which is very strange. It's very strange. I don't even want to talk about it. Okay, the other case is so on the social media, Louisiana. I have a customer there that she's like best friends. She's a very good lady, and I sent to her a copy of because she's always been involved and she's involved in the rice business and she knows everybody, so many people there. The envelopes arrived to her open, so like with no contents. She had a copy of the paperwork that was filed to Facebook and all that. She received the envelope like empty, just the envelope. So question mark. I don't know, but she has it by soft copies too, by email. So I just don't know and don't know. This may arrive well, some of the senators, like I sent to different offices. All the senators, they have offices in Washington, they have offices in the states they are. So I sent to all of them and in both offices. So it's very interesting because you track there's so many security procedures that they do not really arrive straight away. They go to different addresses and then, but it's on the process, it's going to be there. And it's maybe safe. It's going to probably be scanned by because it's international. I don't know. They may scan all the photographs and everything. You know, they're thick. Usually my letters I send attached documents and things because I always talk about LEGroup and LEGroup Rice and LEGroup Business because I explain what I do. So I send them the catalog, I send the business cards, and I say, look, is there any chance you guys can come with a solution to this? Because I have all these massive sales and I do not really understand why it's so complicated, why I end up talking to police officers and stuff when I'm just selling products and being successful. And I have other cases. It's all very strange. Okay, I have evaporated milk from New York was another case. Okay. Anyway, so new businesses. So done. So this new project of River West Civilization marketing. This is something that I said already. Is like unfortunately the sales nowadays. 1 hour talking about payment, 5 minutes talking about sales. It's all about payment. Who's gonna pay? How's gonna pay? It's the economy now. It's the market now. It's like 20 years of a broken banking system. Over 20 years of a legal broken system. Broke those systems. Legal is broke. The bankers are broke, and it's over 20 years. So I believe our civilization has still functioned on inertia. That's my conclusion nowadays. We're still working, but it's called inertia. We're still running on things that they come from the past, from our grandparents, our parents, from the 60s, and we're still running. But but the banking system is broke for over 20 years, and the legal system maybe before that, because once you go through these problems, that is like, this does not make any sense. I have a case of inheritance, okay? To try to close this call. I started, like, my grandparents built that company. They built those houses. They built, like, they constructed. They're in the city center of the city that they helped to found, because Rosario was a small city in Argentina, and it grew and became important, and like, because of a lot of businessmen, entrepreneurs like my great grandparents, they did, from Ireland, from Italy, from Argentina. They built all of that, and then they now, like 100 years, let's say, of history later, there's the descendants, which was me, which is like my father is still alive, okay, and we have these benefits of all this, and we could be continuing the story, but I'm here doing the same work at the distribution stuff, but I'm on these cases that you understand, and it's this mess. And the houses, there's a lot of legal problems, and like, I'm the one who put the problems on shape. I hired attorneys to get the problem. I'm the one, okay, and it's about $500,000 worth of houses there. It's even more than that. They're in the city center in this 1.5 million people city, and Rosario. And I just got a message from one of the attorney that I hired saying, please don't send me things out. If you tell Aline to translate this into part to Spanish if you do not understand that. They just took over the whole thing, and the brokers, which is the legal, they're just telling me what to do, like, and you're like, who are you? And they are doing what they want. They just dumped these properties to auction. They just traded it half the price, whatever. I was not even notified on time. I was desperate. I sent this. Maybe some of you have received this. It's the properties there, the photographs, and I sending this to different things. I reported this to the Italian embassy in Argentina, also to the Minister of Italian Affairs in Italy, because it's like because that's the next example. It's like, what is this? It's like, because in this particular case of these 4 houses, is like, this was my grandparents from Italy. They moved from Liguria, Genova, to Geneva. It's North Italy. They moved there with to establish businesses, invited by the Italian government. Not invited, but it was promoted by the Argentinian government. The Argentinian government was promoting that, so they decided to go to Rosario to build this distribution company. And then after 100 years, it's like there's attorney is just like, and I am Italian, and like this is going from an Italian family to an Italian guy who like the Italians built, and an Italian is like the entire story is going from Italian to Italian. Like there's no Argentinians involved on the real construction and the establishment as the key, because they are beneficiaries, they are Argentinians, but they are assisting, which is my brothers, they're beneficiaries because they're not doing anything. Is I am the one doing everything. I'm Italian, and that's the same thing with my grandparents. Like they were Italians too, and like for some reason this is going from Italian to Italian. I have no idea why, but it's this is the reality. And then I've been treated like shit. And then I'm like, again, I mean, what the fuck, like, what is this, like, but anyways, like, that's, I don't know. The other thing is that the auction didn't happen today, as I heard. It was suspended. It's going somewhere. It's going to be somewhere in the future. So, but that wasn't, but this is a case of how the attorneys are overpowering and telling you, dictating what people should do. It doesn't make, I think life, there's a lot of levels. I mean, if it's an attorney and it's something related to attorneys, but if you, it's not about explaining the laws. It's about impersonation of you. The fact that I'm giving you a power of attorney does not mean that you're just going to do deliberately what you want and just let me know. You're acting on my behalf, but I'm not dead. And so that was a case. What else? And then there's politics. Okay, I'm trying to really connect. I love politics. I love people. I love talking. So I talk like 46 minutes now, and I have all these friends I go making as I exist in this world, and then I support usually progress oriented because I like to work. So usually when I say work, I like practical things. Like I'm talking, there's a paper here that I wrote, like, and so I'm more interested on those who produce the paper and how it's done than those about who talk about how paper is done. I'm more interested in knowing those who actually are producing the paper there, and and so usually I tend to follow this, and that's why I tend to follow right wing. I just say right wing because that's what everybody's saying, but I don't say right wing. But if I have to choose, I'm more into right wing than left wing, because usually I'm more of a production. I like production, so I like to let everything done, and then I'll talk left wing subjects on a dinner. But during the day, I'm a right wing person. So when they're just saying. So usually, if you go to work, and as I'm a right wing person, I want to get this done, and I understand politics as work. I do not understand politics as fun or entertainment. So that's why I tend to be more right wing. But on the other hand, that does not mean that I think right wing is better than left wing. It's about the function of it, and also it's about also the size of the parties nowadays. Usually left wing, they're way too big, way too corporate. They have billions of dollars, and usually they're way too far away from my reality. And usually the right wing, they're smaller and they're more production, so you tend to be more easy to really have a more realistic concept. But I keep trying, but at the same time didn't get any productive or any direct response of a possibility of something to be done, a project or something. Like it's more just volunteering and offering and saying that you say, like I just said, I'm right wing. I like the Lega in Italy, for example. I made some tests, okay, with the new page, which I just put together. Trump, Salvini, Trump, Salvini, Berlusconi all together, and then everybody knows I sent some resumes to Berlusconi, because Berlusconi has started this new party. It's called Altra Italia. So I sent and I also created the page, and I'm trying to study how the Italian market works. And it is rough, just like other countries. It's just rough. It's rough also, just like Ireland, just like Brazil, or just like America. You know that America sometimes in politics seems less rough because Americans are more easygoing and they're more open to really have a chat and stuff like that. But Italy, Brazil, Argentina, Ireland, they're more rough. It's like it's war. It's like it's more rough, and a lot of times, which is the sad part, is that's what I tried to charge the $300 consultancy fee, which is like I know you want to talk about this, but because I sell the interest even when you're attacking or something, but you have to understand one thing first. So we discussed this like explaining, and then after that we go about your point of view, like in school, like a teacher, it's like teaching. It's like teaching. If you go to school, you see like the teacher, the students, at the first everybody has a lot of questions. Then you explain the whole thing, and then okay, now let's have the questions after the whole explanation. But I see that in politics all the time, and there's a lot of people that are really interested. It's been very intense, but I think it's so intense nowadays because of poverty. Because now with the death of the Western civilization, it is more. There's more poverty, and it's not only in the USA; it's like everywhere. So everybody is more poor, and at the same time, you have all the advertising. You have all this pressure that you have to be better, have to be well, which is not from now. It just became more intense now. It's been like this for a long time, and now it's just more intense, and people are getting desperate and even crazy. And then you see the markets. Like I just posted a nice video. It's very superficial. Like we're not going very complicated, but it's a beautiful video. There's a castle. We invite people to go. To come visit Ireland, and I'm smiling. My French is smiling too. We're saying this funny thing, and like, how are you? Okay, this is and then we say Forza Italia. We're smiling like we. But then the comments is like, wow, there's like those who like they just put like, but they don't want to be exposed. They don't say and those who want to attack, they attack. But you see that they didn't read, they didn't get much, because the way they're saying, they basically just attacking the symbol when they read like Forza Italia bad, and then sometimes they don't know if they're fashion victims, sometimes they don't know, but it's just a bit very rough and superficial. And I do know that Berlusconi has a very negative image. On marketing you have positive and negative, and I see that there is some positive, but there is a big rejection against him, and that comes, but still, I'm talking 2019, I'm talking what I see now, okay, and then I just see that there is a possibility of what he does, and that I like, and I like the new movement, L'Altra Italia. I find it very interesting. I have offered my help. I sent to them my presentation and everything. Again, I sent to his house. It's a palace that he lives not far from Milan. I sent to the new party address in Milan, and I sent to his finance company in Rome. And I'm talking to the coordinator of a Forza Italia in Rome, and then that's it, okay. But there's no response. But I think that could be a possibility. At the same time, I have all the business of the other products, everything we're talking about here, that unfortunately they're too big for me to carry, but it's what I have. All these big orders, like just to close that one of my clients today, he was asking for $700,000 of tomato paste, and that's a big order, but still it's on this market that I told you, which is more than 100,000. That's savagery levels, because more than 100,000, 700,000 like savagery. It's really rough, and then it's like so I'm trying to find a solution. This particular case is the tomato paste supplier, which I have visited. I know them. They're in Naples, in Napoli, in South Italy. But again, when you mention you have to pay is $15,000, and then it's like the negotiation gets tense. But if I was like maybe a real estate, I was selling a house or something, maybe not. But once you say you are coming with a project, white collar agreement, it's rough, because there's so much theft is embedded. All these problems I'm having, unfortunately, comes from the high end. This is the high end. So if there's somebody here that does not know the high end, now you know what's behind the Gucci, Louis Vuitton, the Paris Hotel, Monaco, Hotel de Paris, Monaco, Miami, these days. Everybody who dreams about, it's like, it's a friend today, she's like, I reached a certain level that I'm like, I want to be middle class, and me too. That's what I said. That's my case. I just finished this big projects, and I was opening 200 stores of furniture in the USA in 2009, and then I faced this, and it is what it is. It's I don't know really why, I finished this businesses, and then you're like, should I stay or should I go? Should I just go? I have, should I just retire? Should I just go to nothing? Like, why? But then, like today, a customer calls and like, and then it's this question mark, and you're like, why? Like, but why? Why so much savagery on the high end? Why so savage? Why so brutal? Why there's no laws? It's just falling apart. Like, why every time you talk more than $100,000? It's like, because I do see. Look at, for example, I'm in Belfast now. I do see harmony around. I'm not sure about the income, but it's okay, and everybody has their life, and I see that, like, you don't see that a lot of arguments. They just share, they work, they invite each other. I've been invited here a few times. They just buy a drink. It's not. But then when you're talking more than 100, it's like, oh my God, it's like, who is the owner of this building? But anyways, let's pray for the best, and do pray, like, pray. Let's pray that things will get more balanced. Okay, so look, happy Thanksgiving. 58 minutes. I do not know how to speak a little bit. I do not. I'm sorry, I do not. All right. 58 minutes. Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving. Buona giorno di grazie. Buen dia de gracias. E bom dia de agradecimento. Tá bom? Um abraço para todos. Salute a tutti. Tchau, tchau.